We're back here at the Australian National Botanic Gardens. It's November 2012, and as you can probably hear in the background, there's a bobcat operating, and we're bringing some pipes up for the next phase in the seed production area.
This material that we've got in here, this yellow material, is a sandstone that we've got in from out near Bundanoon. It's a quarried material, and we keen on using it because it's weed free. That's the main criteria. So it's got no weed in it, so we won't get the issues of the weeds coming up and contaminating the seed that we're going to harvest. This is an old experimental site that was built in the mid-1980s, and we let it go for a while. But now we're resurrecting it. We've fenced it off. There's a big fence around here to keep the kangaroos and the rabbits out.
I'm Nikki Tors from Greening Australia Capital Region. I'm a project manager looking at restoration projects and also monitoring and research. A lot of the projects we do are looking at restoration of the ground cover. So the understory species that once formed a common layer across the grasslands and grassy woodlands of our region. A lot of our projects are now looking at restoring that grassy layer with a whole range of the wildflower species that once occurred. These species, they might be still relatively common, but they're not getting more common, and they tend to be getting less common. Right across the remnants that we're looking at, these species seem to be just slowly disappearing, either due to disturbance factors or development issues. And we need to look at actually actively restoring some of these species into the landscape. Without the amount of seed that will come from this project, we wouldn't be able to do the restoration works that we're planning to. So we often get seed now just from remnant populations, but we can't keep doing that as these remnant populations need the seed for their own regeneration and cannot provide enough seed for our needs. So the best step then is to gather seed, plant it into a seed production area and produce a whole lot of seed easily, and this will help provide the needs for a lot of our projects in which we're trying to restore areas of grassy woodland understory.
It's different to your washed river sand. It's really nice and it holds moisture a lot better than the other material. So we think the plants should do really well in here. Down here, the idea is to have these raised garden beds. We'll plant on the top along there, and then we're going to put some weed mat that'll come down and slope up against these sleepers. And we'll have these sleepers along in the middle there of these beds, and we'll reshape these beds so you've got a nice pinnacle. The weed mat that we're going to use is going to be to catch the seed.
The partnership also includes the CSIRO to give us some of the research backing in terms of the genetics of these plant populations. It's very important that we get the genetic issues right, or we will be producing plants that aren't genetically fit to be planted out, and that's just a waste of time really to be doing that. So we need to ensure that the seed we collect is viable and genetically fit, and that the plants we produce from that are likewise. It's a great project to be involved with because we're always collaborating with different people, and this time we're bringing in the science grounding to ensure that what we're doing is the best way to do it. We're also working with the gardens, who have a great deal of knowledge and expertise in growing these plants, and then we'll be taking the seed that's produced and using it in restoration out on the ground. So it's really working across different areas and bringing them together in what we hope will be a very effective and efficient process.
Over in this bit here, we won't be raising the beds. We'll be flattening it out, smoothing it over, and then planting it with Chrysocaphyllum apiculatum and a whole lot of those, about 5,000 plants I think, and we'll just grow them there. We'll irrigate with drip limes in there. We won't have weed mat down for that, because when we harvest we'll probably either use a scythe and then rake it up, or we might even use a lawnmower. raised up really high, and then it'll just chop up the seed and just catch it in the catcher. Up the side here, in these pipes, we're going to have the rarer plants that we're growing for this project, and that's the on this side here will be the Rutedosis leptorincoides, and on this side here we'll have Swainsona recta. This is the Swainsona here, and these are remnants. These are just in the old pipes that we planted them in originally many years ago, and they've survived and done quite well.
A lot of these species really are right on the edge of being lost forever unless we have this kind of active intervention. Those are currently called threatened species, and there's a whole suite of other ground cover species out there which are probably heading that way because we're not addressing the issues, or we're not able to stop the issues that are potentially threatening them. So we need to take some active measures to reintroduce some of these plants back out into the landscape so that we have fully functioning vegetation, and we're not getting this reduction into small isolated populations that then can't function genetically. So if we can show that if we can stop it now for some of the more common species and reverse that decline, then we may stop them becoming threatened, and hopefully for threatened species we can turn around and actually put more of them out into the landscape as well.